Got you in the lineup, Bill. Do we have anybody else waiting out noise for the Midwest Prepper Report net? Nothing heard, so we're going to roll up to the top of the net. We got Mike in Mecosta County, KDA YZV. Mike, what's the status in Mecosta County this evening?
Good evening, Nan, and thanks for running the net, and good evening to everybody on frequency. This is Mike in Mecosta County, call sign KDA YZV. Mecosta County is currently green. Unleaded fuel is as low as about 285, and the high I seen was about 310. Diesel is in the 340 to 350 range at most of the places. Most of the things at the store seem to be fairly well stocked and everything of that nature. Also want to give a shout out to a friend in Pennsylvania, Storm Rider, if you're listening. Glad to have you listening. And always good to hear you, Bill and Leonard, as well. With that, back to net control, W5DMH from KDYZV.
KDAYZV from W5DMH. Mike, I got you at about a 40 over signal right now, rock solid signal. But interestingly, my waterfall froze up. My radio's having issues tonight. But thank you for that green report out of Mike County. And that brings us down to John over in Tuscola County, WA8ALQ. John, what's the status in Tuscola County this evening?
Status is green for the most part. I'm seeing gas prices around here, 297. We were up to gas this afternoon and this morning for church, and there at the corner, I believe it's the Speedway station, was 297. In Genesee County, Sam's Club is at 290 for gas. And at the Myers in Genesee County there on Center Road, I'm noticing a lot of open spaces on the shelves I'm not used to seeing, particularly in canned vegetables and so forth. But I know that some of the people have been reporting that there's an open spots on the shelves. You just normally don't see that, so I'm starting to pay attention. This is WA8ALQ, back to net control.
WA8ALQ, John out of Tuscola County. Well, thank you for that green report. That's interesting that you're seeing some empty spots in the store shelves. A little bit concerning as well. John, I had you right at my noise floor tonight of S9. My noise floor is super high tonight. And you were right there at the noise floor this evening, which is unlike you, but the band, I don't know, is being terribly friendly this evening. That brings us down to Lance in Jackson County, K8LCS. Lance, what's the status over in Jackson County this evening?
Hey, good evening. Everything is green here in Jackson County. Groceries were fine when we were there yesterday, and gas is about the same. I think it was about $3 a gallon. So everything's good here. Great week this week. Every day was like Christmas. Back to net control, and your signal's great. 30 over. Everybody sounds good tonight. K8LCS.
K8LCS from W5DMH. Lance, I got you at bouncing off of 40 over. You're really banging the needle tonight. Great signal coming out of Jackson County. Thank you for that green report for Jackson County as well. And that brings us to John out in Waldo County, Maine, KB1ROT. John, what's the status out in Waldo County, Maine this evening?
Hello, KB1ROT. We are green across the board. Gas is about 305 to 310 a gallon. Eggs are getting good. If we find them, I think the average is about 450 a dozen. I've seen 750 at 8 White Star, something around 4. So, we find them. Prices are variable, correct. But otherwise, everything's green. We've got above freezing for the first time in quite some time today, so things are looking all good. KB1ROT, back to that.
KB1ROT from W5DMH. Well, I think we had $3.27 a gallon for gas over here in Michigan. And it was a little bit warmer today, broke freezing. And you should be getting that weather tomorrow as well. So look forward to a little more warm weather for you guys over there on the East Coast, because generally you're about a day behind us, as I have family in New Hampshire and I talk to them frequently. let's see. Thank you much again for joining out of Waldo County, Maine. Your signal, again, was in my noise floor at S9, John. Unfortunately, the band's not being terribly friendly yet tonight. That brings us down to Kevin in Kent County. KEAVN, Kevin, what's the status over in Kent County this evening?
KEAVN here. The status in Kent County is green. Was at the grocery store yesterday and, actually today. And all the shelves are stocked, and wife was at the dollar store and said nothing's missing there. And I didn't go to the gun shop this week, and I got gas for $2.94 at Sam's Club. So that's where we're at. Green here in Kent County. Back to net control. KEAVN.
KEAVN. Well, thank you for that green report for Kent County. And Kevin, I had you bouncing off of 40 over. A really strong signal coming out of Kent County this evening. That whole area of the state seems to be doing really well. That brings us down to Leonard in Oakland County, 88 FK. Leonard, what's the status in Oakland County this evening?
Well, the status is green here in Oakland County. We got fuel Friday at less than $3 a gallon, and we did some shopping at Costco's and Myers. It is the availability and the selection is getting narrow. Let's put it that way. So, but it's green. We have what we need, at least this week. So, but we are listening and watching and learning from what Trump is doing and his assignments and so forth. We're interested in how that is progressing. So with that, we'll send it back to you. You were hitting me at 30 or 35 over here in Madison Heights, Dan. W5 DMH, this is AD8FK.
88FK from W5DMH. Well, thank you for the green report out of Oakland County this evening, Leonard. You're banging me at about 25 over, kind of flirting with 30 over here and there. Really good, solid signal coming out of Oakland County this evening. And thanks again for taking the time to join us and giving us a green report out of Oakland County. And that brings us down to Tim in Berry County, W8 LLC. Tim, what's the status over in Berry County this evening?
Good evening, Dan, and everyone else on the net tonight. Status in Berry County is green. We're looking at gas prices right around $2.95, diesel $3.59. About the only thing we noticed was the ongoing shortage of eggs in the grocery stores. Other than that, everything seems to be pretty well stocked. So back to you, Dan, W5DMH from W8 LLC.
W8 LLC from W5DMH, Berry County reporting green, and you have a signal of about 15 over there, Tim. I think you hit 20 over at one point there, but averaging between 10 and 15 over, but still good, solid signal coming out of Kent County this evening. And thank you for taking the time to join us and share green status for Berry County. And that brings us down to Bill in Macomb County. No net is complete without K8OB. Bill, what's the status in Macomb County this evening?
Oh, good evening, Dan, and everyone on frequency. Here's K8OB in Macomb County. I'm going to give Macomb County a green report, Dan. Fuel's ready and available. I've seen unleaded as low as $2.89 a gallon, with diesel floating around $3.50 per gallon. And the wife went to the grocery store today. She only went to one store. Usually she has a couple of them, but the one she did go to, which I think it was Walmart. She mentioned it was very busy while she was there. So she didn't notice anything abnormal other than the shelves where they keep all the eggs at. She said the egg aisle there was almost cleaned out, but she said it's probably due to the amount of traffic that was there. But they did have a employee out there that was bringing out a cart that was, I guess, really loaded with eggs. So she said by the time they'd probably get done filling that the shelf there, it should be pretty well full. So I would just take that as a sign of the traffic that was in the store today. Very busy. So I call it green. And other than that, that's about it, Dan. K8OB, back to net control.
K8OB from W5DMH. Well, thanks for joining today again, Bill, and got you at 40 over on the signal report. Thanks for the green report coming out of Macomb County this evening. and we appreciate you joining us and taking time out of your evening to participate. We got a handful of people on the live chat, but I'm not getting any reports on the live chat right now. Actually, somebody reported on Signal just now. Let me pop that open and see who that was. That was Jerry out of Berry County. W8MMC is reporting green with stable food and fuel prices. Be safe out there. We also hold a commercial digital net on Sundays at 6 p.m. now for the Thumb. And we had reports from Sandusky, North Branch, Vassar, and Snover this evening that all reported green for those areas as well. David and Sonia reporting they have not been out all week and have not heard anything for Lapeer County. So I'm going to share Lapeer County. My status in Lapeer County is green. I saw fuel for $3.27 a gallon. I did not buy any. We went to the store yesterday and found the shelves to be full. Nothing short anywhere. So I'm going to report green for Lapeer County. And that brings us to the bottom of the net, and we're going to go ahead and throw it out there for any late lagging check-ins. Any late lagging check-ins for the Midwest Prepper Report Net? Call now with your call sign, your county, and your name to Whiskey 5 Delta Mike Hotel.
Kilo Echo 8, November, Lima Echo, Mike, Kalamazoo.
Gotcha, Mike. Is there anybody else out there that's a late comer? Nothing else heard, so we're going to ask Mike to go ahead and bring your traffic. KE8NLE, Mike, Kalamazoo County. What's the traffic over there?
Good evening, Dan, and the rest of the group. Everything's green here in Kalamazoo. I'm glad to see the weather break a little bit. It was awfully cold here. Sub-zero temperatures don't do me very well. And gas prices here, I think I've seen as low as about $2.86 or something when I was out the other day. And I'm not sure about diesel now, but it's probably right around that same $2.20 to $2.50 or $3.50 or so on this side of the state as well. Other than that, everything's going pretty good. Shelves were good when at the local grocery store here. The better half said there wasn't many eggs at Walmart yesterday, but again, it could have just been a heavy shopping day. Running right around between $4.50 at the grocery store by the house to around $7 up there at Walmart. So prices vary quite a bit depending where you're at. Nothing more to add there. This will probably be my only time in, so KE8NLE.
KE8NLE from W5DMH. Got you at 20 over, Mike. Good solid signal coming out of Kalamazoo County, and appreciate that green report coming out of Kalamazoo County as well. Thank you for taking a moment and joining us this evening. And that brings us back to the top of the net. We've got Mike in Mecosta County, KD8YZV. Anything additional to share, Mike?
Good evening again, Dan, and everyone on frequency. I did mean to tell you as well, Dan, you're tickling me at times 40 to 50 over, so booming signal. Everybody's signal over here this evening on my side of the state is just rock solid. Everybody's audio clear, so that's awesome. President of Colombia turning away our Trump made his announcement, and he has subsequently capitulated. Amazing what a little bit of thumping will do, isn't it? So I got a bit of a smile on my face. With that, I'm going to send it back to Net Control, W5DMH from KD8YZV.
KD8YZV from W5DMH. Well, thanks for joining again tonight, Mike. And yeah, still rock solid signal coming out of Mecosta County. You're bouncing up around 30 or 40 over. Net's finally being friendly. That brings us down to John, WA8ALQ over in Tuscola County. John, anything additional for the net this evening?
No, but sorry that I'm not as strong as I normally am. You're finding here your easy 5 over F9. So, and just one last comment on your audio. Yes, much better. And when you were talking about all of those grounds you put on, I immediately saw the ground looping. But someone else mentioned that, and that's you found out that's the devil in disguise. Too many grounds. So anyways, all is good here, and we'll look forward to checking in with the MPRNET next week. W5DMH, this is WA8ALQ, Murphy Lake, Tuscola County.
WA8ALQ, John out of Tuscola County. Well, thanks again for joining tonight, John. Appreciate it. Yeah, you're still right at my noise floor, but I have no problem pulling you out of it. Just crank the filter up a little bit, and I have you. But it's the nature of the beast being so close to each other. That brings us down to KB1ROT, John out of Waldo County, Maine. Whoops, nope, sorry, John. I skipped Lance. We've got K8LCS, Lance out of Jackson County. Lance, anything additional for the net this evening?
No, nothing additional. I'd just like to say, Mike, that was really something with the president of Columbia there. That was epic. It was certainly epic. Anybody gets a chance to look into that. 7-3, everybody. Signals are great. Everything's fine here. K8LCS. See you next week.
K8LCS from W5DMH. Well, thanks again for joining tonight, Lance. And yeah, I think a lot of folks feel that way, me included, that it really set the tone for how things are going. I was very appreciative of that stance. That brings us down to John over in Waldo County, Maine, KB1ROT. John, anything additional for the net this evening?
Nothing specific. The band is clearing up. I got the noise floor about last time, and you're doing 20, 30. We're bumping over 20 plus 30. So, we're most everybody that you can tonight, which is a first. So that's good news. KB1ROT, back to 10.
KB1ROT, well, that was a little better for you as well. I had you at about 5 over that time around, so you're climbing out of the noise floor for me. So good solid signal coming out of Maine. Thank you again for taking the time to join tonight, John. And that brings us down to Kevin over in Kent County, KEAVN. Kevin, anything additional for the net this evening?
KEAVN here. Nothing additional to add. You're bouncing around 35, 40 over here. But, yeah, that's about it. I've seen that same story, and, yeah, it put a smile on my face, too. And with that, I'll turn it back to net control. KEAVN.
KEAVN from W5DMH, still blowing a rock-solid signal coming out of Kent County there. You're 40 over now. That brings us down to Leonard in Oakland County, 88FK. Leonard, anything additional for the net this evening?
Well, we just threw on another log in a fireplace and keeping a chill off. Enjoying the fireplace during this cold snap here. And while we are enjoying the fire, we also watched Catherine Fitz on the Hillsdale College presentation. It's a YouTube presentation. If you look up Catherine Fitz, that's with a C, Catherine and an F, F-I-T-T-S. I've listened to her over the last few years, and boy, that gal's got a lot of background knowledge. At one time, she was the assistant to the Secretary of HUD, and she made a lot of waves, and the government came after her, but she won. She won her case. They went after her like they went after Trump. But the gal is so smart, and she's got a lot of good information. So if anybody cares to learn from her, and every time I listen to her, I learn considerable amount. So she really gives you the big pictures. So with that, we'll send it back to you. Thanks again. Nothing new here, except just want to mention that. Dan, W5DMH, 88FK.
88FK from W5DMH. Well, thanks for that little nugget. I'll have to look her up and see what she's all about. Thanks for taking the time to join us tonight, Leonard. Appreciate it. And that's going to take us down to Tim out in Berry County, W8LLC. Tim, anything additional for the net this evening?
Nothing additional for me, thanks. Everybody have a good week. Stay safe. Back to you, Dan, W5DMH from W8LLC.
W8LLC from W5DMH. Still, yeah, your signal's climbing up too. You're bouncing around at 20 over. Good solid signal coming out of Berry County. Thanks for taking the time to join, Tim. Hopefully we can see you next week. With that, we're going to drop down to Bill in Macomb County, K8OB. Bill, anything additional for the net this evening?
I just wanted to say thanks once again, Dan, for running the net as usual, and you always got that banging signal coming in here. You're jumping around anywhere from like 40 over to sometimes almost close to 50 over. So fantastic signal and audio coming in here, and also everybody else's signal sounding very,
very strong as well. So the band's playing very well with us tonight. And the only thing I might add is I just seen a recent weather report, at least down for this way, but it might affect the rest of the state as well. Is they're expecting some heavy winds like overnight tonight and into tomorrow, and with gusts as high up to 45 mile an hour. So hopefully that doesn't cause anybody any power outages or any problems. So just wanted to throw that out there. So that's all I got. KOB, back to net control.
KOB from W5DMH. Well, thanks for the heads up on the wind. I always sweat bullets with my tower that it's not going to handle it. It's been up for 5 years, but still, I sweat it every time the wind picks up. Still banging signal coming out of Macomb County as well. You were tickling 50 over there that time around, Bill. Outstanding signal coming out of Macomb County. And that brings us down to Mike, KE8NLE out of Kalamazoo County. I don't know that he's going to be with us, though. He thought he was going to be one and done, so I'll throw it out there anyway. Mike, you out there?
This is KE8NLE. You got me. I'm still listening. I just want to say that I was able to copy everyone coming through the list that time. Even the gentleman there from Maine was really nice and clear. My noise level is low as usual here, right around the F1 or 2, and everybody's coming in at least an F7. And you, Dan, are well up into the 30 over or so. So everybody have a good week. KE8NLE.
KE8NLE from W5DMH. Well, yeah, your signal picked up as well. I got you at 20 over that time around, Mike. Thanks again for taking the time to join us. That brings us to the bottom of the net, and I'm going to throw it out there one last time for late lagging check-ins. We've got Myra out of Lapeer County reporting green, but not making it back in time for the net. That's KE8FOQ. I'm going to throw it out there and see if there's anybody out there in the wings waiting for a check-in. Call now.
November 3, Whiskey, Victoria, Bravo.
N3WVB out of what county and what name?
Columbiana County, Ohio. My name is Chuck. Charlie Hotel, Uniform Charlie Kilo. And like the gentleman said, you're pounding it, man. 30 over 9 here in Ohio.
Yeah, I got you at about 25 over, so rock solid signal coming out of Ohio there, Chuck. I think this is your first time on the net here. You know how this format goes? Did you stumble onto us?
No, you know what? I've been listening in all the time, and just never decided to go in. But tonight, for some reason, I was motivated to give up my call, say hello, and participate.
Well, you want to give us a nice status report for Columbiana County, Ohio, please?
Oh, you'll love this. You know what? We've been freezing. It's been nonstop cold with snow routinely. Today, we made it all the way up to freezing, and right now we are at a balmy, tropical 26 degrees Fahrenheit, and we still have about 4 inches of snow on the ground. Other than that, not too bad.
Well, it sounds like you're taking lessons from Michigan down there, Chuck, because that's my exact same weather report up here. I think I got 4 or 5 inches of snow. It's about 25 degrees, 26 degrees outside. Balmy is not the word I would use to describe it, but thank you for that status update. And like I said, you were at 25 over there, Chuck. Thanks for joining us. Feel free to join us next weekend. We do it every Sunday night at 7 p.m. on 3900 on your 80-meter dial. But thanks again for joining us, Chuck. And that brings us to the bottom of the net. I'm going to throw it out there one more time for any late lagging check-ins. Any late lagging check-ins for the Midwest Prepper Report Net. Call now.
What was Chuck's call sign?
WLC in Tuscola County. This is Paul.
Hang on just a second, Paul. What was that? Was that Leonard that just jumped in?
Yeah, what was Chuck's call sign there?
That was November 3, Whiskey Victor Bravo.
Roger, thank you.
And we've got I think it's W9C. Man, I'm hamburgering your call sign, Paul. Give me your call sign again.
KB9WLC.
KB9WLC. Yeah, I wasn't even in the ballpark. Thanks for joining, Paul. I know you by name. Your call sign makes me stumble. You want to give us a status report for Tuscola County and western Sanilac County, please?
Yeah, I'll give you a green. We've got gas prices are still floating around $3 a gallon, plus or minus. And grocery stores look good. I did try checking into that digital net tonight. I could hear you just fine, but I could not
I don't know if I wasn't keying it up or what was happening, but you weren't hearing me. It was KB9WLC back in then.
KB9WLC, I got you at 10 over, Paul, just for giggles. Yeah, and Jeremiah said he heard you, so I got a feeling I was having more of a problem on my end, and because Jeremiah was picking you up from the repeater, so you were getting in, and Jeremiah heard you, but I didn't hear you, and Jeremiah didn't tell me this until after the net, so I kind of scolded him and told him next time you hear somebody that I don't hear, call me and tell me you're hearing them, and we'll get them to repeat and get it opened up. But apparently I was hearing you, or I was not hearing you, but others were hearing you tonight, Paul. So that was my fault. My apologies. Thanks for joining us tonight, Paul. And like I said, you know, you're bouncing around 10-15 over there. Good solid signal coming out of Tuscola County. And thank you for that green report. That brings us to the bottom of the net. We're going to throw it out there one more time for late lagging check-ins. Call now. Nothing else heard, so we're at the bottom of the net, and we're going to call the ball, return the frequency back to its previous use. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening on both the YouTube live stream and live chat, and on the air and the signal chat and text messages and everywhere else I got contacts from. Thanks again for joining tonight, everybody. 7-3 to all, and I will be clear upon your finals.
This is Kilo Delta 8, Yankee Zulu Victor 73. Everybody stay safe.
23, some ADHFK.